Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. My name's Tom Coffing. I have been in this business for about 40 years. I look pretty good for being dead, okay? And I'm so excited that you're here. You know, we had really a dream 15 years ago to say, we think that the future is going to be people wanting to take many databases and join to them and move to them as if they're one. Instead of migrating to the data lake or to a Teradata system, you don't need to do that to see your data. You can do it across systems, and that's what I'm going to show today. So after we're done, this has been a 15-year evolution, and it is not for the weak and weary. And you'll see that today. Here's your little desktop down here, and you might have some systems that you're all connected to up there. And here's the issue. First, our dream was to say, we think we can put the power of cross-system joins and data movement in the hands of the users, and we will work on our PC to just no avail so that we're going to be able to come in and say, hey, you want to move data between Teradata and SQL Server here in the United States? No problem. Just go to your laptop or PC, pick the source and target, Teradata and SQL Server. Hey, hit the green button and you're going to be moving all of those tables. But the problem was, and we didn't know this, we failed many times. This is not a success story. This is a success ending. The problem with doing this that we found out was when you run these load utilities from these different companies, and that's the way we do it. We've mastered 100 different load utilities. So you point, you click, we're doing the company's load utilities in the background. When I go from Teradata to SQL Server, it starts off on Teradata and says, I'm going to move, but it goes through your PC because that's what initiated the load script. That's what slows things down. Oh, we just moved 500,000 rows, but it took 22 hours, saturated the network, and everybody hates you. So that's the problem right there. Now, if it's small amounts of data, you can do it. It's no problem. We have that in the PC. You see, that's what you'll see today. The PC and the server are equally as intelligent, so you can do it from either. But when you have big data, we can put these Nexus servers out on the cloud or on premises. We just give you the software and say, load this software on a server on premises or provision it on the cloud like you'll see me do today. Now when I want to move, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I can be in India and I go, hey, I want to move that stuff in the United States from Teradata to SQL Server. Your PC will set it up just like before. You'll point and click, but you'll say, you know what, this is big data. I want it to run on the server in the United States. The only thing coming from your PC are your credentials and that script that was built. From that point forward, that data moves from Teradata to SQL Server, and it is moving 10 million rows a second, ridiculously fast. And that's the idea behind the server. So I want you to see two things here. Number one, if you allow people to move from the PC or join from the PC, it has to go through the PC, not any longer. It can go through the PC, but it can also go through the server, and that's what the double whammy needs to be. So this is your data center. You got 20 disparate systems out there. You put that Nexus server in there. These are shared. Everything you want to do now, no matter where you're at, it is going to move between these systems like nobody's business, and it doesn't matter what you have. We got almost everything out there because we've been working on 15 years, so you'll be able to move to and from anything. I'm going to start you off right here. And I've got my system. These are all cloud systems right here, right now. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go right here to this server, and I'm going to kick it off. And I'm going to go to a previous connection. Maybe you got some legacy data out there. I've set it up, and I'll show you how to do that. But I'm going to kick off 1,000 tables from Oracle to SQL Server, and I can schedule it or I can execute it, and that is happening right now. That's running right now, and I will move on to a few other things just to show you how this is going to work. Let's look at the load utility here. I'll do this actually through the PC. It's pretty fast. but I want you to see what we're doing here. I'll come down here to a DB2 system, and I'm going to open that up, and there's my beautiful tree. And I'll come in here and I say, you know what? I'm going to right-click on any database or schema, literally any database or schema, and I'm going to say I want to move this to, let's go with MySQL. There's all my source stuff. I can do searches in here for anything I want. I can say table. If I put underscore table here, that's the only thing that's coming up here. And now that's all I'm going to see. But I can just pick everything if I decide I want to. All I have to do is pick my target. I'll go with SQL Sandbox. When I hit this blue button, everything's going to shift and everything on the left is going to move to the right. And it's going to give me some extra room so we can see things. And it goes, hey, these tables exist. And I say, you know what? I don't want to add to them. I want to drop and recreate these. I don't want MySQL utility. I think I'm going to go with the bulk copy. So from a global perspective, I could have moved 10,000 tables, and some of these are 1 million, some of them are 5,000, things of this nature. But I can individually go to a table and I go, well, I want that one to use this utility, and I want the next one to use this data export copy into. And I'm ready to go right now. I can move it down to other things in my Nexus. And when I hit execute, this is going to start moving like nobody's business. Now, it takes months. It costs $5 million to move off of a Teradata to another system over a year or two. And that doesn't need to be the case. If it turns green, it moved. So I can see that this is moving like lightning, and each one of these I can get individual, hey, this has moved 280 rows. Oh, this has moved 3595. Those have been converted from DB2 over to MySQL. It could have been Snowflake, Redshift, Synapse, BigQuery, anything, and I am moving this data. I'm going to show you a couple of crazy things here, okay? Watch this. You know, we've been working with a lot of insurance companies and large banks, and they give us the direction that we need. They go, you know, Tom, we got people, we'd really like them to be able to move data or see data or process data so much easier. And I go, well, you know, you can do that. I'm going to come up here and go to my Teradata systems. I'm just going to run a query. And I'm going to pull in, let's just pull in this addresses table, and I'll run a quick select. I can write the SQL. I'm going to execute that. Now I'm going to come over here to any other system that I decide I want to, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to drag this result set. I'm going to give it a new name just to say it's amazing. All I need to do is I can take an answer set from any system, and I can merely drag it over to this MySQL system, and it says I will create a table called amazing with that data. So a big key here, it's now over there on a new system. I'm going to be able to execute this. I can do this here, or I can do this on the server, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So just the easiest way is to take any answer set, drag it to your system tree, and you have created that table. Now prepare yourself. If you've got a seatbelt, you're going to want to lock in on this one, okay? I can come in and I can say, you know, I'm going to collect the cache tree hierarchy on each one of these systems. It'll last for 30 days. Anytime I use my tree, it'll refresh. But I've now collected, and I did this earlier, on all my systems from an object point of view. When I come up here to this search bar and I go, you know, I want to know, and we've got some banks that said, I want to know who's got social security number in tables anywhere. And I go, well, just type in SSN, and it changes this tree and shows me every single place from Amazon Redshift to Azure Synapse to Snowflake to Yellowbrick where that exists. And now I've got my social security number, and I can see the data types from the different systems, and I can even get a report on this. But this is a live tree, and I'm going to come back to this in 1 second. Watch this. Over here, I got a message that said, hey, Tom, I'm done with those 1,000 tables. and it's got a green check mark. If 999 of the tables would have moved successfully and one table would have had an issue, it would have given me a red check, and then it would have given me an asterisk by the table that messed up. So when you're moving 10,000 tables and you're doing it just like I did, if it comes back green, every single one of those was successful. And if I want to see the more log, I can see details exactly what happened with all 1,000 table moves down to exactly what happened. If you know these load utilities, you've got that at your fingertips. So those 1,000 tables have moved. Now, seeing some movement, I want to show you something very, very interesting here. I'm going to come back to that search tree, and I'm going to type in subscriber number, right like that. It's going to show me every place that I've got subscriber number in every system, and we know that. But this is a live tree. I can come out here and move data to these different systems here. I can come in here and I can do what we think is the Super Join Builder. Now, let me say two things here. When we dreamed of doing this, we said we want people to be able to push a button or be strong ETL teams and migrate using this tool. But we also want people to join across systems without any technical knowledge that's extremely sophisticated. And we'll build everything for them. Conversions, utilities, options, ease of use, so that people can do this and the corporation can really start to use the teamwork. This shows me the addresses table visually. That's from Amazon Redshift. You can see the Amazon Redshift logo right here. What's it joined to? It shows me everything that this joins to. If I click here, those tables will be here, and all I have to do is press the columns I want, the report will be done. But I can take this much further. Imagine being able to access all of your cloud systems. I go, well, I've got Amazon Redshift at the top here. I've got a Synapse system right down here, and it joins to the subscribers table, and I know those two join. I'm going to drag it in one time and say, hey, subscriber number and subscriber number is how those two things join. And they go, okay, I will remember that if you'd like. And I go, I would love for you to. The minute I begin, and I can make this bigger or smaller, however I want to see it, you can see the logos. The minute I do this and I say, you know what, I would like to see first name. It says, oh my goodness, I will build the SQL. And I want last name. And you know, I do need subscriber number and member number. And please give me the city and the street. That's what I have right here, right now. I can run this join right now. But maybe I want to make some changes. Right here's the tables, the columns, the order by. I'm going to come up here and hit columns. It says, hey, Tom, those are the things that you checked. And I go, you know, I forgot. I really did want gender down here. And I was hoping to get gender first. Every time I move something, I can't confuse it. The Nexus will come out and change the SQL to say the stuff at the top is what you're going to have on the report in that order. And I go, first name, last name, gender. And they go, that's correct. I go, okay, well, you know, I do want to order that data. And they go, stuff at the top's on the system, stuff at the bottom's not, but I can still pull those in an order by statement. And I go, I want first name and I want last name, and I would like to have subscriber number descending. And they go, that's how it's going to sort. And I go, yeah, that's what I'm planning on, first name, last name, subscriber. I can do outer joins, left outer joins. I can put where clause in. I can even see the metadata to see how big these tables are right here, right now. I could join 10 tables from 10 different systems, and that's what's so clever about this. I can run this at any time, and I want you to notice one other thing, because nobody's been able to do this. We've been doing this so long, and we've tested for so many years, that we can say which hub. Look at the top right here. I can run this anywhere, and that's where the join will be processed, the hub. And I said I've chosen Amazon Redshift to be the hub. Any foreign tables from Teradata, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2 that I've joined here will move to Redshift, and I will hit execute. And this will then move that Synapse table over across the clouds over to AWS, where it will join that data on Redshift. And you can see I've got my rows right here. What's interesting about this is that maybe that's a busy system right now, okay? So I could come in and say, you know what? I want to process this on Yellow Brick or DB2 or Oracle, and everything would move there. But I also have two options, which we worked an enormous amount of time on, and we're so pleased we did. I can come in and say, hey, I want that to run in my PC. It will take both tables and query them separately, only taking the columns and the rows needed, bring it back to the PC, and it will execute it right there. I'm actually going to save this join, and I'm going to pass it to every single person in the company, and I'm going to call this Share Federated. Now it'll be a one-click solution from this point forward. When I execute this on my PC, it knows who I am, it goes out and queries. We've got the PC so smart, there it is. It brought everything back. It does it in the background. This saves so much time on an expensive system because you'll be able to do analytics on your PC just as easily. We've got this like its own database, so it can join with no problem. But if I had 10 billion rows, I could have kept the hub at Redshift or Synapse, anything, and I could have executed it from the Nexus server. Now that I've said it's my PC hub, I want to execute this on the server. That big server out there on AWS will control everything. It knows who Tom Coffing is. And when I execute it here, it says, I'm going to run that. It's on the server, and do not blink because I'm going to be bringing this thing back real quick. And come on, there it is. So I can run these joins anywhere. We had a customer that said something very interesting to us, and I'll do a quick, another join builder and show you how this works just real quick again. What's this Teradata table joined to? Subscribers, which joins to claims, which joins to provider, which joins to services, and I can just pull them up in just a heartbeat. And I want everything from claims and almost everything from subscribers and almost everything from addresses. And I want everything from providers and services, and that is some good SQL down there. We've got some customers out there that are running big queries on Teradata, and I'm just going to capture that right here. They're running these huge Teradata queries, and then they want us to save it as a table on another system. And I go, well, we can do that. Come up to your Nexus server right here and say, I just want to run stuff straight from the server, not tell the server to run it for me. And I'm going to do an SQL right here. And I'm going to come in here and I want to run it on my Teradata system. And I will tell you the SQL. I could pull it from favorites or history or anything I wanted to. And I'm going to paste that in there. And they go, okay, we're going to run that. We're going to give you that result set really quick. And there's going to be 500 million rows possibly coming back from this. And I go, yeah, I don't want you to do that. I want you to create it on another system. They go, you want me to create the answer set as a table on another system? I go, that's exactly what I want you to do. Let me just pick a system and the database right there and the table name. And we are going to call this a miracle. And it says, okay, you want to do this? And I go, I do. They go, it's going to process once, daily, weekly. I can schedule it. I can do custom. I can do it. I want to do it immediately right now, but I can set this up to run every night. And then I will just call this a miracle. I don't have to call it anything. It puts the timestamp on there. Now watch how fast this works when I schedule this to run. There it goes. It's done. And now it has been successful once again. And if I look over here and this system right here, I am going to see a miracle right here that's got those 2,000 rows. So we really want you to be able to do anything you need to